So I'm going to give you a quick whistle-stop tour here of the university in terms of what we have to offer you, and then ultimately come to those really important questions. We are located in the town of Guildford, a really nice place to live outside of London. And that's outside of London, both in terms of location, but also for visa purposes in terms of that maintenance amount of money that EGD was mentioning earlier on. So we'd be the 9,207 amount for the yearly living costs for one individual. But Guildford is also very well connected, not just to central London, which is about 35 minutes by train into the South Bank, but also to the airport. So that initial journey when you're travelling either on your own or with your family, we've got direct public transport to both London Heathrow and London Gatwick. And similarly, a taxi ride shouldn't take more than 40 minutes to either of those airports. And then very well connected within the UK. So for visiting friends, family at other cities and other universities, please do make the most of the public transport infrastructure within Guildford. So the campus itself means that we are essentially a student village. So you have the opportunity to study, to socialise, to learn, all in the same very safe, very welcoming location, which is just a few minutes away from the town centre. So you're by no means in the middle of nowhere. You're very well connected to the rest of Guildford. And particularly if you are looking for off-campus accommodation, that works really well in terms of the location. But of course, we have accommodation on the campus, and that's guaranteed as a single occupant for the whole first year of your degree programme, whether that's undergrad, postgrad, PhD. The lake is most definitely one of my favourite places. I myself am a Surrey alumna, and I've managed to get through writing my dissertation thanks to those breaks where you could go and just enjoy the tranquility, catch up with friends, enjoy a barbecue, enjoy a music concert, outdoor cinema screening that happens there by the lake. And of course, we've got lots of other social support opportunities here on the campus, including our new My Surrey Hive, which is our one-stop shop for student support, the library that's open 24/7, and there's security 24/7 on the campus. So whether you have a quick question, whether you've lost your room key, there's always someone that you can go to for support whilst you're here with us. And then we do also have a brand new Manor Park campus with lots of new accommodation over there. But again, just a short walk away from our main campus, and a short walk again to our Guildford Town Centre, where there's lots going on, really nice fruit and veg market, and we have one every week on the campus as well. But also some great opportunities in Guildford Town Centre for part-time work. So if you might be looking for a few hours a week to get some experience, additional income, please do make the most, looking nice and early on about the part-time opportunities, either on the campus or in Guildford Town Centre. So what can you study with us? Well, here at the university, we're split into 3 faculties. So there are 3 very large departments that have within them their own schools, their own specialties in terms of research groups, etc. And that's arts and social sciences, health and medical sciences, and engineering and physical sciences. And that breaks down into these additional schools and areas of research. As Gigi touched on earlier on, for the vast majority of our programmes, we don't require IELTS, and we would be able to accept WIEC C6 or above, of course. But if you're interested in one of these areas, I really would encourage you to start doing your research nice and early. Have a look on the programme page on our website, compare modules with other universities that you're interested in, because ultimately, you're making this really big and fantastic investment in your future, and you want to make sure that it's the right fit for you. Also have a look at the academics, their profiles, watch some video tours of the universities, of the departments, to get a feel for where you might be spending 1 or even up to 3-4 years if you're looking at an undergraduate. And we touched on earlier about the exciting opportunity of postgraduate programmes with a placement year. Now, I think undergraduate courses are particularly well known for their placement year offering, but for the last couple of years here at the University of Surrey, we've been successfully offering students the opportunity to undertake a fully integrated internship as part of their MSc programme. So even during a global pandemic, our students have been able to go on to some great opportunities for a full 12 months, and the vast majority of that has been in the UK, but we've also had students go to India, to the US, over to Europe for that placement year. Now, it's something that you will need to apply for individually. However, you receive a lot of support from your tutors and from the careers and employability team at the university. And applying for one of these courses would mean that your student visa is for 2 years. You'll have 12 months of full-time study, working on your dissertation, working on all your taught modules. Then you'll go into industry and work for 12 months, often for a good graduate equivalent salary. And at the end of that 2-year programme, you're then able to switch to either the graduate route visa for 2 years or other opportunities such as Toby's articulated really well just a moment ago. And in terms of that careers and employability support, it really does start from day one at Surrey. So whether that's giving you the opportunity to network with final year students or recent graduates, it's also about inviting you along to employer events on the campus, virtually, lots of big job fairs, some of which, for example, will focus specifically on careers in tech, as an example. And the reason that we started to offer these master's programs with a placement year is because the undergraduate program, PTY or professional training, has been so successful for over 60 years now that we've wanted to build that offering and ensure that postgraduate students have just the same opportunity. So our partners for undergraduate professional training years, some of which are on the screen here, we actually have over 2,300 receive all the same support that you would regardless of the level of study that you're at. And as I say, it's not just the UK, this really is an international opportunity, and it's still an integrated part of your course. So it's an opportunity to apply the learning that you've just learned in your degree, and ultimately, to really boost your career prospects. And as an undergraduate student going on a professional training placement, you would actually be returning to the university for one more year of study. And often the work that you've undertaken during that professional training year may well be the inspiration, the impetus for your final year research project, because you've been able to see how all of that knowledge you're acquiring in the first couple of years of your degree is really applied in industry, and it allows you to better align your career prospects and to decide exactly what you'd like to go on to do, whether that's return to the company or whether that's go down a slightly different avenue. And as I say, we've got lots of partners, and it's also a significantly reduced fee for your placement year too. And Surrey is very proud to have been awarded University of the Year for Graduate Employment, and that's thanks to the amazing opportunities that our students go on to. You have 3 years of career support from the university after you leave, and a lifetime access to our careers portal. So that's got lots of helpful resources, video links. It's also got a job search function as well, and that is available both in the UK and internationally. And you can see here the statistics for our students who go on to further employment, really impressive rates here. And again, talking about those students who go on to receive a job offer directly from their placement year. And if any of you are keen to kind of get to know a little bit more about studying in the UK, career options, on FutureLearn, there's a completely free MOOC. It's not specific to Surrey. It's much more thinking about, your future planning. How would a degree align your career prospects, and how can you make the most out of your time at the university? So please do have a look. If you just search Surrey on FutureLearn, this should come up, and it's just a 3-hour commitment for a fortnight. So very minimal commitment, but something that's really great to have on your CV, have on your LinkedIn profile to show that you're very career focused in that aspect. And what is life like outside the classroom? So on other parts of the campus outside of your teaching facilities, I should say. As I mentioned, we guarantee accommodation on campus for the first year. We have lots of single occupancy rooms, some couples flats. We also have a limited number of family flats available as well. And they are available obviously on a range of prices, depending on the exact facilities that you're looking for. But again, just as we were speaking earlier on, the sooner you apply for your course, the sooner you'll be receiving an offer and be in a position to sort your accommodation. So it really is a case of the more proactive you can be, the better. And so this is the Hive that I mentioned earlier on our campus, our one-stop shop for student support. It's somewhere that's open every day. We have current student life mentors. We also have full-time members of staff available that if you have any query, particularly in those first few weeks when it can be a very daunting but also equally very exciting process, that there's somewhere right in the centre of the campus that you can go to for any further support that you may need. And just across from the Hive, we have a much more relaxed zone where you can go enjoy the nicely designed new architecture here, catch up with friends, take a break from your studies, and make sure that you're looking after your well-being too. And I touched on part-time work briefly earlier. We happen to also have an on-campus recruitment agency. Many universities have a similar equivalent too. So my advice is always to sign up with them in the first few weeks to get their email adverts, but also proactively be looking for your own opportunities in terms of, seeing any job adverts in the shop or the restaurant windows in the town centre about any work that they might be looking for. And they're very used to recruiting international students, often on very flexible contracts too. So, do speak to the careers team, but also have a look in your local area. And you're not just here to work on your studies and perhaps part-time, you're here to have a lot of fun as well. And so our clubs and societies are a great outlet for that. And the Afro-Caribbean Society is particularly popular amongst our Nigerian students, and you could always go on their social media to gain a little bit more information. And of course, the sports park for any active and keen sports goers amongst you, whether you're a complete beginner or already very proficient in a sport, do not hesitate to sign up and make the most of our heavily discounted student membership prices over at the sports park, just a few minutes walk away from the main campus. So last but least, we've kept you waiting for the all-important scholarship opportunities. Now, the good news is that this slide doesn't actually cover all of the scholarship opportunities because there are so many different discounts and opportunities available at Surrey if you're looking at completing a postgraduate talk programme with us. If you're looking at a PhD, we also have lots of studentships on the website. Some of those are to support your own research proposal. Some of those are for a specific project. And so, of course, don't be reticent in looking at those opportunities which are updated on a regular basis. But to focus now on the postgraduate talk programme, we essentially have two initial options, and I'll start off with the MBA programme. Now, that's not actually discussed on this slide, but the MBA programme is unique in the sense that the application process also involves an interview. So we don't interview for any of our other postgraduate programmes except the MBA. And, during the application process, please do, express if you're willing and wishing to be considered for a scholarship. And dependent on your performance at interview, you may well then receive a scholarship offer after that interview. Now, that could be a range. We have set MBA scholarship discounts in terms of a tuition fee waiver, but we also have the very prestigious Women in Leadership Award that Toby was herself a recipient of. And again, that's for women who, have got a fantastic track record in terms of entrepreneurial activities, being very much a leader in their organisation. And again, of course, that's something that will be discussed at interview, but we're also expecting to see on your CV as part of the application process. Now, if you're applying for any other postgraduate talk programme on a full-time basis, and you'll be self-funding your studies, so by that we mean you're not in receipt of a full external scholarship, or you're not being funded by a government body or your employer, then the great news is you are automatically eligible for a £2,500 tuition fee discount. That will be automatic. There's nothing else that we need, provided that when you apply, it's clear that you are applying from Nigeria with your passport, your residency information. And that will be applied to your CAS letter. And that's the case for all September 22 applicants and February 2023 applicants. So that's for all full-time postgraduate programmes except for the MBA. And as I mentioned, we've got some really great significant discounts for the MBA too. Then there is also a great scholarship in conjunction with the British Council. Now, this is an application-based scheme. So after applying to Surrey, if you're successful in receiving an offer, you can then apply for the Great Scholarship. Now, this will be for a £10,000 tuition fee discount. It will be awarded to one successful applicant from Nigeria. And the closing date for this is the 31st of May. So the successful applicant will be notified in early June. So as I say, if you're thinking of applying, you've still got time to get your application in and apply for the scholarship as well. Then last but no means least, we also have our Vice Chancellor's Excellence Scholarship. Now, these offer varying awards between £5,000 or £10,000, again, really great amounts for an application-based scheme. So just like with the Great Scholarship, and of course, you can apply to both, though you would only ever be awarded one scholarship. Of course, whichever is the highest value is the one that you'd be able to accept. But what would happen is you would be able to apply for scholarships on a wide range of courses, as I say, in any of these subject areas for a full-time postgraduate programme. And during the application process, you'll be asked to explain why you think you're eligible for the scholarship, why you wish to be considered. We're of course looking for academic excellence as well as the opportunity to really make a difference after completing your master's degree. But just like with the Great Scholarship, the first step is to make sure that you have received an offer for your programme from the university. And as soon as that happens, you can then go on to apply for these scholarship opportunities. The exception is the discount, which is automatic. And we're delighted to be able to offer that as a continued commitment to really wanting to welcome as many Nigerian students as possible to Surrey and help you to join our wonderful, welcoming and diverse community.